Yeah.
Hi there, and welcome to the Carr Brothers Show, Season 4 premiere tonight on CHCO TV and on our Facebook page. I'm Jack.
And I'm Jeff.
And I'm Jody, the third of the three Carr Brothers.
Well, we want to welcome everyone tuning in, and it's our first in-studio show. We've been doing, we've had 3 seasons already. We started back in 2020, and we haven't been on in about a year and a half, but we said now's the time for the reboot, and when we started, it was during COVID, and, you know, we had to isolate, and that's one of the reasons why we did start, right, guys?
That's right, and, you know, it's been kind of, people have said to us, they kind of missed us, I guess, on the show, and we had a nice little break from that, but people wanted to reconnect, so we're happy to reconnect.
Yeah, like we don't have much else to do on Wednesday nights anyhow, and it is coming into the winter season, shorter days, and we find that people do tune in more in the winter time when they're not outside. So I guess that's why we really did take the summers off anyhow when we were rolling, just because we found that not as many people tuned in. So this is a good time, we thought, to start up again. A lot going on in the world.
Yes.
Obviously, and when we started the show, when COVID began, it was really because there was so much negativity and unrest, and the news wasn't fun for anybody in isolation, so we just wanted to have a little fun show that kept it positive for people to watch every week and continue on. So ran into people more and more all the time looking for us and wondering if we were ever coming back again. So the suspense is over.
Well,
we're here.
And really, I mean, we've done a lot of different things over the years, but on a political sense, because we want to do the show about politics, about the community. We're big supporters of the community and business owners, past and current, but we've got, I don't know, a combined of 30-some years experience elected in the legislature. So we get to talk about that. There's certainly no shortage of political topics.
Well, every now and then something comes up political.
Yeah.
And, you know, we won't shy away from that.
No.
But by looking at us, you'd never guess that we'd have 30 years. We don't look near that old.
We don't look one day over 30.
Right.
Yeah,
but
that's one thing we always like to do is, you know, we always say that if we can't pat each other on the back, well, who can, right? So we like to pat each other on the back. It's really important to be positive with each other and give reinforcement.
Well, we've done a handful of shows without guests. But the majority of our shows we've had guests, and those are great. We're going to keep having guests on the show. But then sometimes it'll be great too. People say, well, why don't we interview each other about perspectives? And Jody can be really tough with the questions, can't he?
Yeah, he can.
Jeff.
No questions tonight. No, I'm not saying a word. I've said this before, but I really mean it tonight.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, people do want to know what you have to think and what you have to say, though, too, Jody. So,
But I think what I want to say is thanks to Patrick at CHCO, and now we're here in a live studio in Fredericton on location for the very first time. So you know we've got some people to thank for that, but also just our viewers that really took to social media, sharing the page and sharing our intro that we were going to be here tonight. So we thank you all. The comments are excellent. There's some really funny things on there that people talked about us. So, and you know, as this is our first time in studio, we are actually being looked after by professionals on this. So if there is a glitch or two, it's probably our fault. But we'll just roll with it and have some fun with it. And we are watching the comments on here like we always do. So, you know, if there's a question or two that, you know, to fill in the airtime, we'll go to that. But we're just here tonight to open up and begin a winter of a great season, we hope. So let's take it from there.
Yep, for sure. And some of our guests we've had in the past, quite a variety. I mean, it was really amazing how we had, you know, so many guests and people interesting. We've had tons. I mean, I guess the result of leaving people, but just get Frank McKenna on the political side. Frank McKenna, we've had Mike Murphy, we've had Bernard Lord, a ton of ministers. I remember Dorothy Shepherd, Mike Holland, Andrea Anderson Mason, real neat there. Bruce Fitch, I think, was on, and
some municipal leaders, some mayors, yeah, First Nations leaders, we've had on. We had Chief Chicky here, in Fredericton on. At St. Mary's Reserve, had him on. He was a great guest.
Had lots to say.
Kate Rogers, we've had. She's going to come back. She said she'd love to come back and give us an update after a couple of years.
Mayor Powell.
Mayor
Powell on too. So we've had a wide range of guests on and promoting a lot of nonprofits as well. And community events over time.
Fundraisers, good causes.
Things like that. So,
and I think there's
an appetite for more.
I don't think it's gotten necessarily any more fun in the world news and Canadian news and that sort of thing. But I think the need for local involvement and local broadcasting, local connection. You're right, Jody.
Local connection.
I think the need is even greater.
I was thinking about that too, and I do. I really think we came together around COVID for this, so we could connect with the community. And community can connect with each other. And now I think more than ever, our world is in turbulent times around the entire world. Everything going on here and there, and different wars and fronts. Then we need some positive. We need connection, and we don't have that always. So Facebook, social media is great, but having it live is even better.
Yes.
Well, I mean, tumultuous, not just around the world with all those conflicts, but then when you get close to home, it's political strife and what's going on federally, provincially, and we see some municipalities that are struggling right now with some issues. So we'll get into some of those at a later time. Did I trigger you?
Yeah. Talking about politics, I can't. I'm sorry, but people say they say it now more than ever because you mentioned, there's lots of stuff going on. Federal, provincial, municipal, whatever. And they'll say, do you miss it? Do you miss it? And because it's been since 2018 that I was elected in the provincial legislature.
5 years.
And I'll tell them, you know what? When I was younger and I first started in
politics in 1995, when I was 19 years old, I said, and then when I got elected in 1999.
Well, you ran at 19. You said, don't go on experience. Go on youthfulness and energy and all this.
Yeah, something different, something new.
Message got changed a little as you got older. Go on experience.
There's so much I could say here. You're going to get me off, but my first time when someone ran against me that was younger than me, I didn't know. I had to really change my message. It was a real different experience. But I would say, I tell people, when I was younger, I'd go up on the doorstep and I'd be eager, and this usually an old man would be there, just getting all grumpy, and sometimes women too, but anyways, the old men get a little cranky. And they'd say, what are you doing? You're not this and that. They're all this and that. And I said, oh no, we're going to make a difference. We're going to change things. And I think we did. But the fun part is that now, after these many years, sometimes I feel like the old cranky guy on the step at the door, Like, I really want to know from candidates and politicians, how are you going to do things better for this? And Justin Trudeau announces his campaign team. Oh, what kind of stunt is that? You got all the...
cynical.
Get a little cynical.
I know.
But anyway.
Well, remember the time, Joe, well, it's kind of reminded me of some of the crankiness. And we have great stories. We'll be able to tell that sort of thing and funny stuff and inspirational things as well. But remember the time we're going door to door and we're all, it was in Ormukta West. And we thought it just this is how you kind of learn sometimes, hard knocks. But we thought, well, it'd make more sense if you went to the door, said hi, and this and that, instead of coming down the driveway and out the street, up the other driveway. Well, let's just go across the lawns.
And be more efficient, see more people.
Right, get more in there. Well, we learned sort of the hard way, or I did, because I don't know if you remember it, but knock on the door, this and that, leave a pamphlet, then walk across the
lawn. Just like a paper boy.
Yes.
Cross right across the lawn.
You've got a good story about the paper boy too. But and then it's one of the first, and then I kind of do understand now, but the door opens up, get off the lawn. What are you doing on the lawn? And I'm like, I kind of had to lick my wounds a little. I'm thinking, that hurt my feelings. They yelled at, because you're trying to
energetic and enthused, but now I understand because I had to grow some patches of lawn. That's a lot of work, and I now get it because even today there's a car track on the corner of my lawn that I'm trying to grow, and I walk by, I'm like, there you go. Look at that.
Yeah.
Right over the lawn like
No
that. I worked hard
appreciation.
at that. So
No
now
appreciation.
it's interesting 30 some years later.
Here's a great idea for a future show.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just scrolling through the comments, and we don't always connect to the younger crowd, although we had Taylor on one time, and Brandon, my son Brandon, when he was managing my campaign. But there is a great, to get some active youth on there to share what they are doing in the community. So many negative comments about that age group, but so many of them are doing so much good. So that's probably a category should work on.
Thank you, Laura Hood, for that comment.
Yeah,
Laura's been
exactly.
through cadets and at the church, and she was our babysitter when we were younger.
Well, she didn't babysit us.
Not us,
No,
but your
girls.
For Taylor and the girls.
So I think that's a really good idea. Because I mean, our future is about the generation coming behind us. Well, now it's 2 generations coming behind us really to push things along, but connect with some student councils and things like that.
Get a perspective.
Yeah, maybe they could interview us.
There's some good stuff
change.
going on around, I know, and we'll talk about that after.
Your,
but
your girls are still in school, so
in our school system,
You're
there's Anglophone West. David McTimney has a youth council that he's created and structured, and they've done one report at least, and now we're going to work on something else on another topic, and brought back recommendations, and it's quite marvelous.
Right.
And
they did that on their own, like the district, David McTimney wasn't a directive.
he wanted youth voice in the schools, and there's a district mentor that helps support, but it's basically they choose the topics they think are pressing in schools, and then they get the feedback and get the research and then put forward recommendations. So that might be one to follow up.
Do they put recommendations to the district education councils?
Yes, to the superintendent and the district education council.
Well, that is great, because I remember, when I was student council president, I got to come to one meeting, I think, on the school board, but and then later, I think I was in opposition then, and one of the governments scrapped the New Brunswick Youth Council, and that was a big thing. But to see an organization, the Anglophone West, be proactive and create their own youth council, I think that's great.
Billy Midimas.
Oh, Billy, yes, didn't he just get his Canadian citizenship?
He wanted a new Canadian perspective. He thinks we should be sharing new Canadian perspectives as well.
That's
a good idea.
So we maybe have Billy on. He did give us a time or two.
Did we ever have Billy on?
Serenade us?
We had him one time
Did we?
for music. What was that for? He was doing music for something. I forget if it was something I was doing or
I can't remember.
I'm not sure we had him on the
Maybe
show.
it was his own thing that he was doing on Facebook.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. But
Nora Valentino wants to remind us that we even had a magician on the show one time. And that was
Thank
Jesse
you, Nora.
Campbell. So we appreciate that, Nora. Shout out to Nora. Very,
very
loyal viewer we have there. So
she's right in tune. Like she just get ambassador award
Remember
from
when-
St. Thomas University, something like that.
Yes.
One of the best fans you'll see dedicated.
no
yes,
kidding.
yes, or
That's a big
all
deal.
this type of stuff. What about that time we had Jennifer Russell on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Joe.
Didn't that get a lot of attention? And
Yeah.
Boy, she's
Did get a lot of attention.
She's had a lot of experience in the last.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting if she had some perspective that she wanted to share.
Well, interesting. Yes, for sure. Yeah.
She's
She
moving
speak
on
at the? Did she speak at the government committee, public accounts? Or
We had her at public accounts, yes.
I couldn't remember the name of the committee, but
It would be a week ago tomorrow, I believe, tomorrow morning. A week ago tomorrow morning. So there was, the Auditor General did a kind of a report on, how the government did with COVID and the response with COVID and things like that. So the Auditor General was there, and there was some follow-up questions that the committee wanted to ask, and about some of the things that were in the report that some of us weren't really aware of. The ministers of the day that were in cabinet during COVID were never interviewed by the Auditor General, and we kind of thought that the AG should have interviewed some of us that were actually part of the decision-making process and based on recommendations from public health, and that's kind of how that org chart went. But we were all left out. But there's a real perspective from that side. Even though we're in cabinet with, cabinet confidentiality, there's still a perspective you could share with the Auditor General on how decisions were made and how they changed so quickly and things like that. So anyway, part of that was, part of that report was Dr. Jennifer Russell's input on it. And so we had some questions for her, and the committee members, some of them asked some questions of her. And she was there, but she's moving on now. She's
Canadian
I'm not
Medical
sure exactly.
Society?
Well, I think she's vying for that
yeah.
position. I think is what, or she's applied for it.
Yeah.
But she is going to be at UMB. And I don't know exactly what department she's going to be overseeing, but it's pretty exciting to have her there at UMB with her experience. And
what I'm enjoying, guys, I'm just smiling here, but I kind of look into the corner of my eye here. Jeff's got the technology, but the comments, people are commenting back and forth about issues and topics
is that right?
And questions, and they're not chewing at each other yet, but so that's good. But nice little comments made.
Yeah.
Well, one right in here, Joe, right off, Janice McKenzie, saying her favorite guest was Krista Carr.
Oh, wow.
She was so articulate and passionate about her work for people with disabilities. Your wife, of course.
And did we have her on to talk about MAID?
Yes, she talked about the assistance
MAID, the medical assistance dying, and that's still an ongoing saga.
It is. Well, actually, now that you
people with mental illnesses,
they're expanding it in February to mental illness.
I know.
Yeah, March.
It's just not everyone, but a lot of people are trying to just put the brakes on this. The numbers are increasing. There are times, when the choice is made, but it's those times when. We should be providing support, not necessarily helping end their lives. So anyway, mental illness is another whole area that I know that members of the Parliament are trying to slow it down, and so hopefully they will slow it down.
Well,
there's a committee now. I think Krista just presented. There's a committee there reviewing the mental illness part, and hopefully they bring back recommendations to slow it down.
Well, mental illness and addictions in itself could be we could run a whole series on that. On the issues around it, and getting down to the root cause of what the issues are, and possible treatment areas in the province, and some of the work that's ongoing, and then some of the planning that could be out there going forward to help, and how to expand services and give people the help they need, which really takes us into what I'm and I know we're jumping around, but it's such a front and center topic right now, because the inquest into Lexi Dakin. Remember, we had her father and her sister on the show.
Yes, that's right. Wow. And mother,
not long after she passed when that happened. And now they're going through the testimony on, improvements that need to be made in emergency room settings and things like that. So that's going to be interesting to watch as we go forward. And
what comes out of that?
Hopefully there will be recommendations, but hopefully we have dedicated government leadership that will keep working to push that forward. It's hard work, but
it is.
And I think everyone would agree that there are problems and issues with mental health and addiction. Not everyone agrees with necessarily how to get there, and what's proven, what's not. But I think the main point is working together, recognizing there's issues with mental health, addiction, a huge need, services, all that. It's just not a cut and dry, simple solutions. But I think having the discussion and talking about it is the way, and realizing and keeping an open mind. I've researched some things that different solutions that's presented, and not necessarily in favor at first, and then now say, okay, we'll be an open mind, because if people want to hear my ideas, then I've got to be open about learning about other solutions, I guess. So
no question.
Well, we've had good suggestions by comments from the viewers around different organizations that are doing good work that we've either had on in the past or could go on in the coming weeks to talk about projects. Marty Forsyth suggested the Chalmers Foundation. He's very active on the Chalmers Foundation, raising funds for the hospital.
I think he's the vice chair.
Yeah, okay. So that's an area where, there's great work. We had Gilles Alain on in the past.
We have had Gilles on.
But
he was a CEO at one time, and now he's moved on to a different role.
Goodness, yes,
there is an acting CEO right now, and I actually talked to that gentleman. His name escapes me now, but
is it Doug?
I just can't remember my names anymore.
It is Doug.
It is.
Someone's going to mention here.
Keir's Marketing. He owns that. Anyway,
I was talking to him about, and we got talking about the hybrid OR, the surgical suite up at the Chalmers, and the space that's available there that was, incorporated into that space. And now, Jody, you, in Allward's time, you guys approved through the capital budget that expansion.
Yeah, that wasn't easy.
And renovation of the Chalmers, which wasn't easy. And then it was delayed after the new government came after that, and it got delayed a little bit because capital budgets get bumbled around.
Yeah.
And then they moved on it. Brian Gallant moved on it, and I think Victor Boudreau was a health minister then. They did start moving along near the end of their term, but then it's still moving along now, and it's really finished and about to be open. The operating suites, but there is an area set aside there for what was supposed to be what we call a hybrid OR, or surgical suite. And now there was a little bit of I wouldn't call it a controversy, but a little discussion on whether that suite will open or not as it is. And Minister Fitch has said that, meeting with some of the people involved, that there will be a pilot project for that kind of a suite in St. John at the regional. But he also said not now, but not well, how did he put it? Not no, but not now. Type of thing. So then I do know there was subsequent meetings after that. The surgeons, I think there was 12 medical professionals from the Chalmers had written an open letter to government saying, like, you know what, we have what it takes to do that here in Fredericton. Vascular surgery is something that's very important, not in St. John, but Moncton, Fredericton, and St. John, the big centers. And this hybrid suite allows the surgeries to happen, and the patients don't have to be moved out. That's the advantage. You have your X-ray, you have MRI, the technicians can come to that patient. So that's the advantage of it.
Wheeled all through
right.
Oh, okay.
Frees up your X-ray technicians in your X-ray room. So the advantage is for that. So from what I understand, this whole concept now and the discussion is going to be sent to what's called a collaboration committee that the hospital has with Horizon and government, and they're going to bring back some recommendations on how they pull it off. Long story short, the Chalmers Foundation has the ability to raise money to help supplement the equipment that will go into that, and they're more than willing to help out and get that going, which is a great help. Our major centers do have hospital foundations, and the Chalmers Hospital Foundation has been critical to helping with equipment over the years and raising it, and they have the means to do it, and they're ready to be a major partner in that. So we're going to continue to keep an eye on that as time goes on, and maybe have some people on the show that are involved with those discussions, maybe some of the doctors. I think Patricia Bryden was actually involved with some of the business plan writing for that was given to government. So,
and I mean, a lot of people are affected in their own personal stories, vascular surgery, and we have our own experience with that. With Nan, when she had to have, she had her stomach aneurysm and needed to be operated on, and right there at the Chalmers. So that's the thing about healthcare. It touches so many. Well, it's from birth to passing on. So it's all the stages through that and the emotions, and it's critical. So we've got about 5 minutes left, but I wanted to say that was Doug Daly, who's the interim CEO of the Chalmers Foundation.
Yes,
so
thanks to our viewers. I think Janet Moser was one that and Marty Forsyth was letting us know. We appreciate that.
So that's a hot topic we want to keep an eye on here, because as local politicians and former politicians, you're always in the dogfight to keep the services.
Well, I always understood that part of that whole renovation was about modernizing the surgical suites. Where that moved to since from, but I'm not sure. But
you've been out of the loop too long.
Been out of the loop.
Let's follow up on that.
Okay,
like we said.
We'll have some guests on maybe to talk about that and see if we can help promote that a little bit.
And
we just want to help.
Yeah, that's exactly, and facilitate and get some awareness and some information, get some answers.
Exactly.
Now we've only got a couple more minutes, but
we're going to be out of time here.
We are.
No time. But so there's some great ideas.
Yeah.
Brian Harquail, former president of the PC party in Brunswick. Gas prices is a hot topic.
It's not really going down
talk
much.
about how the carbon tax affects that, how it doesn't. And then really what a lot of people don't understand is how our gas prices are made up through regulation. And Jody, you were a big part of back in the day when regulation came in, right? You were just a new...
It was a big election campaign.
Right.
Yeah. And it just, you just don't have that environment like we had before, where I'm pretty sure it was the Lord government in, and every day you'd hear the opposition leader talking about gas prices, and it's just not something we hear
that's a
about
that's a full half-hour show. We can talk about gas prices.
Oh, so no election this fall, that was mentioned?
That was the boss said so a week ago tomorrow.
Yeah.
Officially laid it out there. I think most people figured it out by that time.
A lot sooner than that,
We're running out of time for an election anyhow. I'm happy with that. No election. We have a lot of governing to do.
Yeah.
In a year, especially, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but putting signs up in the wintertime is no fun. I did it one time, and it's no fun. So
I don't know if that's what I ever have, but
I think it was a Harper election. I helped out for Keith one time, and in the winter, it's no fun. So no election. Everybody seems to be kind of cozying up and settling in.
But certainly feel free to go back, make comments, continue the comments, watch again, share our Facebook page, our likes.
We're working on a YouTube channel.
Yes, and we'll follow up on these comments, like different organizations to promote Remembrance Day this weekend.
Remembrance Day this weekend.
Oh yeah. So let's remember we have a lot of close family, friends, relatives over the years, community members. That's right. And a lot to thank and remember who sacrificed their lives so we can have a public TV show to be able to express our opinions.
Free media.
Yeah. Well, thank you to the viewers on CHCO TV and our Facebook.
Made this successful.
Made this successful. It's a great launch, I would have to say. And we'll see you again next week on next week's show on the Carr Brothers.
Good night.